Hey friends, welcome back. Now we are going to continue our MERN stack series. This is our e-commerce project and we are creating Flipkart clone. So till now we have worked a lot, right? We have created this layout, we have product description page, we can add products into the cart, we can go to the place order page, that's a checkout page, right? And I have worked on few things and I'm going to walk you through the work what I have done, and so you can so you can copy and paste those work in your project, right? And also you can find the source code in the description of this video. So here we have price details, right? This is what we have, this is what I have created, and here we have place order button. So I'm getting the price, the total items is 7. Okay, the 7 is means I have 5 over here, and plus 1 6, and then plus 1, that's a 7. So total I have 7 items, as you can see over here. And the delivery charge free, that's static hard coded. Total amount is actually the multiple of this price with 5 times plus this price and then plus this price. So it's 57,374 rupees, right? So here we have this place card page, and we can go to the place order page. So here I have created this design. So this is a background color with font style and everything. So this is just same thing what we have done last time, but I have added a couple of CSS, and that you can get from my repository, and the link is available in the description of this video, right? And I will also show you so you can copy and paste. So over here I have this address, 3 different address, as well as I have this add new address. I should disable this first attempt, right? So when user will click on it, then he can add the items. Okay, so here what I can do, I can select one of the item address, and I'm getting 2 options over here, deliver here and edit. So if I will click on deliver here, then that address got selected, Rahmatnagar road number 4 and whatever it is. So this is how it is working now. And yes, that's one thing. And okay, but you have to reload it because the work is not completed yet. So if you want to change the address, then we must need to have a change button over here. So let's reload now, and let's do that process again, and you can see also the price becomes 0. So it's because of we have reloaded this page and we have not made any call to the cart. So that's why the cart items is also not available. So yes, let's go back to the cart and let's do the place order again. And here I've got my item, and here I've got my address. Let's select this address, Fazan. So Fazan, okay, fine. And here we have deliver here, and you can click on this edit button. So click on it, and you can see we have got a form, and obviously we need to also fill this form, right? So whatever the existing address we have to fill this form with that existing address. So this is how it is going to work. And then finally we can do save and deliver here, but right now we don't want to do that, but this form is kind of same thing. Also we can add a new address. This is like last time, right? You can add a new address over here. Let me show you how. So let me add a new address. Again, now let's add a pin code, address, city, district, landmark. Okay, hopefully this is 10 digit, otherwise you'll get an error. 3 6 9 and 10, right? Now okay, let's select the work and save and deliver here, and this address got selected over here. This is what we have just saved. So this is the address we will say we have saved, and also the delivery address step is completed. Now we are ready to move on the order summary page, and again I haven't created this order summary, but this delivery address and all the functionality, UI level functionality, took me a lot of time in completion. That's why I haven't worked on this order summary. Okay, so this is how it is working, and you're getting this price and all. Okay, so let me show you the code over here, and let's start with the coding part first. Okay, so okay, as per the code, as per the change, let's start with the first card page, and here we have index.js file, and everything is as it is, like what you have right now in your VS Code. Okay, so everything is same except a new component That's a price details component. Okay, so this is a newly added component, price details, and it is coming from our components folder. So here we have our components folder, and inside the components folder we have created this price details. So this is a completely new component. We have index.js file, and this is just a price details with a card component. And inside card we have this a div with a padding, box sizing, and again lots of static text with some value like props.total price and props.total price again, and props.total item. And yep, that now we are returning this default. So even we don't have any style sheet over here, that's as it is. So you can just write this. It's a very simple component. Now this is what we have created, a new component. And now let's close this and let's go to the price component again, and where that. So here we have index.js file, and now let me explain how this thing is working. So you know, right, we are passing total items, so that's like number of items, 5, 6 or whatever it is. Then we have total price, and it is going to be the sum of all the items price. And so here we have cart items, so we have cart items in our reducer, and I can add that. So here I have added, as you can see over here, a cart items. A card is over here, right? So card is here, and we can also use this cart items. That is not an issue. That's totally fine. Both of them is fine. Better to use, I would suggest to use this cart items instead of this card. Okay, so just try that, and let me explain another thing. So this is, you are familiar with, we are using object.keys because this card items is not an array, it's an object. And then we are using a JavaScript native function, reduce. So this reduce function is actually takes a callback function and takes initial value and reduces the whole complete array to a single value, right? So let me explain you how this is a callback function, and here we are passing the quantity and then key. So basically when we are doing this card items object.keys, then it becomes an array of keys, right? And then we can use a reduce function because it's an array, and reduce function works with array. And here we have the key of card items, and then we are getting quantity. So now you are guessing like, what is this quantity? We don't know, right? So here is the second argument. After this callback function, we can pass a second argument, that's a 0. So the initial value is 0, and that is quantity itself 0. So when we are, whatever quantity will say over here, that is going to assign over here. So when I'm telling, I'm saying like 0, then quantity is 0, that's the initial value. And then I'm just reducing the whole array to a single value. So it's just doing sum, right? So getting the cart items, we have a key, we can get the exact cart item, and then we know the quantity, right? Then doing the sum, and then we're getting the total item. So it just reduces a single value. Then again we have a total price, and we are doing the same process. Instead of quantity, I'm getting a total price, the key again, and here I'm extracting the data from our cart items. So cart items, key we already know. Then now we have an exact item, right? So here we are getting price and quantity, and then we are doing the total price. That's initial value is 0, so 0 plus price, whatever the price of the item, and that quantity is going to multiply and then sum. Then it will come up with some total price. That's it. And the same thing is in our checkout page, right? So here we have our checkout page, and here we have index.js file, and we are doing the total same thing. So here price details, right? That's a totally same thing. No need to explain. Next we have a change over here in, yeah, that's, let me explain how this is gonna working. So this page is exactly like what we have, what we left last time, but just to make things work, just to make things work step by step, like step 1, step 2 and step 3. For that we have added couple of flag variables. Let me show you. So here you can see the flag variables like new address, and then we have confirm address, then we have selected address, and these are the flag variables. Okay, so you can, it's very easy. Just don't look at the functions right now. Let me go, let me help you to understand the first step 1. We're going to start from the beginning, right? So the step 1 will be enabled only when authenticate is false, right? So if authenticate is false, then we'll take opposite of false, that is a true, and then step 1 will be highlighted. So we need to first complete the step 1, then we can move to the step 2, right? So in that case, if it is false, then this checkout step will be active, and we are gonna we are gonna display the body, and inside the body I'm checking. So as per the step 1 is already highlighted, it means authenticate is false, then it will show this material input. Else, if it is not a false, user is already logged in, then this is going to display this logged in function, right? So here we're going to have the full name and email. That's it. Now the step 2 is again the simple thing, delivery address. Here we have we have added a new flag, that is auth.authenticate. So previously we were just checking the confirm address, and this is going to absolutely work fine as long as the user is logged in. But whenever the user will be like a normal user without a login, without a authentication, and you will try to jump to this page, then what is going to happen? Over here the confirm address is by default false, and here it is going to be true, right? And if it is true, then active will be this step 2 will be active step, and this shouldn't happen, right? So that's why we have added this authenticate. We will also check authenticate. If user is authenticated, then only step 2 needs to be activated, right? Okay, that's how it is working. Once the step 2 is activated, then we'll jump to the body and we'll checking the confirm address. Obviously the first time confirm address will be false. We are iterating through the address map, and we are just displaying the address. We have a radio buttons over here, and I will explain this on input with on click, but just let's focus right now on the iteration. So here also we have address.edit. Everything is like same except this ternary operator, right? So we'll explain. Initial value, we all know the address. We have an address array, and initial value of edit is false, right? So initial value of edit is false. It means that the negation of edit will be true, and this is going to print on the browser. So this is going to render, right? Okay, that's it. It is going to render and till here. So it is going to render, and the old check we already over here. Address is selected true, and if it is true, then material button will be enabled. As also we have a new things over here, that's an anchor, right? So anchor is nothing but again a material or material component that's we have created, and let me show you. So here we have a components, we have material UI, we have index.js, and our anchor is over here. So here we have our anchor, and also you can see you can notice I have a different style, different font family over here, and that's because of I have installed a plugin. One of you have suggested me to use that plugin. So that's the plugin name is Prettier. You can just search Prettier in the VS Code extension, right? And you can install that. So I will say Prettier. So here this one, right? Prettier code. You can install this plugin. You can install, and this will be this. Now then your code will look beautiful. Just make sure to have a default Prettier code, right? Also I have changed my font family, right? So you can go to the VS Code, and that's a setting, right? Preference, and then settings, and here you can see I have some settings file, right? Config file. Click on that, and I have added a font family. That's editor.font family Monaco. So the Monaco I have added as a font family of my VS Code. So first thing is like you need to install this font in your system. If your system accepts this Monaco, then you can write this font over here. Otherwise it is not gonna work. Also the Prettier is my default on save, right? So this is I have the editor format on save. That's true. Whenever I will save my document, then it is gonna apply the Prettier code. That's it, guys. And here let's go back to our code and material UI as far as I was discussing. So here is this a simple anchor tag with the default with whatever the props like on click style. You can pass in number of props. All will be spread over here, the class and then name of the anchor. That's it. So I have a little bit of styling for that anchor. That's the anchor button. So that's over here. That's it. So yes, that's fine. Now let's go to our VS Code again. Checkout page index.js, right? I was explaining this, right? So here this is our default iteration of address, and here the thing is over here, like if I will check input radio button, so over here that's the select address. If I will check any one of the input, so we'll pass the select address, right? Address component where we have that select address. Yes, so here we'll enable that selected value true, right, and other will be false. So because of that, we are going to enable two things in our case. So we are going to enable material button, that's address confirm address button. Also we are going to enable anchor tag, right, this one, ADR selected anchor, right. So this is going to be enable and the name is edit, so you will see in edit text, right, and you get that text will be clickable. So if I will click on that anchor tag edit, you can see over here, let me reload this, and yes, sorry, yeah, over here I will say delete and say edit, that edit, right. So if I will click on that edit, will pass over here an address, and you can see this function is over here. Okay, that's here. That's the same thing what we have done in the select address. We are using that address, we are mapping through it, iterating through it, and we are finding the correct ID. Once we have the correct ID, edit will be true and rest of them will be false, and then we are just setting, we are updating the address, right. So as we have updated the state in the component, because of that it is gonna reiterate, and if it will reiterate, as you can see, this is going to be true, right. So one of them will be true, and as it is, whenever it will be true, we are going to take the negation of that, that is going to false, that is going to make it false if it is false. So instead of executing this one, it is going to render this address form, right. So it is going to render this address form, and this address form is totally same what we have created in the last video, except this new property without layout. So yes, as you can see, let me show you the address form, right. So here address form, what we have done over here, in this case we were returning the complete address form with the titles, steps and everything, like, so you can see the plus sign over here, add new address over here, so that's a complete one, like a completed step. Okay, and this is fine, right, but sometimes in this case, as you can see in this case, I don't need the title, I don't need the steps and additional things, I just need a form, right. I just think just a form, couple of inputs, that's it. So in that case, what I have done, I have created a new function, render address form, and I have added whole form except only the form, right. So you can see over here, render address form, and this is just a return statement with all the flex row with all the material inputs, right. So that's it. That's a function, right, and here I'm checking if that's a true, then I'm just gonna return the form instead of the whole layout, right. Do not return whole layout except the render address form. In all cases, in other cases, it is gonna be like as usual, the whole step. Okay, so that's how it is working, and rest of the thing will be same, we have a button. Also the important thing over here, as you can see, as per the submit, like this time you can also create a new address, and that is gonna save in the database. So for that, what we are doing over here, so I have created I have just imported the user redux state, and this user we have a use effect, and this is going to execute only when address will change. Yes, so what is going to happen when you fill your form and you press the submit button? So when you press the submit button, right, this button, on address submit button, it is going to take all the data and is going to dispatch add address, and it will add the address in the database. And I have created a flag, right. So the set submit flag, that's this for address form, right. So here the default value is false. So in that case, I will first check my submit flag, the default. This use effect is going to render every time whenever address will change, right. So I don't want that thing. So whenever address change, I will also see my flag. If the flag is true, then only I will execute the inner code, else I'm not gonna execute. So when I will click on the submit button, okay, I will click on the submit button, that will dispatch an action, add the address, and because of this dispatch, it is going to dispatch and it is going to update our reducer state. Okay, and when we will update our reducer state, means we have updated the address, right. So if address got updated, it means address changed, right. This is going to execute, and also that time we have made this submit flag true, and this is going to be true. And here what we're going to do, so here we are passing a property on submit form, right. So you can see over here, so here you can see the on submit form, on address submit, that function exists over here. So on address submit, I'm going to get my address. So over here you can see I'm passing the address on submit form, address as a parameter. First what I'm doing, the new address. So after the dispatch action, I will get all the addresses, and obviously the last address, the last one is the new address, and this is what user wants a pickup, right? A delivery user wants to use as the delivery location. So I'm just slicing the last address and passing as input, and that I'm going to get over here. So over here, right? So here I'm just doing the set selected address. We'll set the selected address because that's also the delivery address, and we'll say set confirm address true. Now what it is going to do, so it is simply going to check, here it is. So confirm address is making true, and it is true, right? So if it is true, then it's simply going to print nothing, null, and in that case that's fine, right? So yeah, confirm address is done. We are going to simply print null. We don't need to print anything. Also here, yes, so here over here the confirm address is true, right? This is also going to execute. So confirm address true, and because of that this is also going to be like disabled. Confirm address will be true, and we'll take the negation of it, and then active will not be active anymore, and this is going to be not a highlighted part because that step is already completed. As the confirm address is true, then this is going to be print over here, and we already saved the selected address. So from here, yes, this one only, right? The set confirm address, set selected address, we have the address, so we can simply print that. So yeah, I'm just printing a selected address and this one. So this is all, that's it. And I have already explained this print details, price details, right? So this is all the change in this video, and the link of our source code is available in the description of this video, as well as you can go to the webscript.info. And I've got some posts, products cannot be added or code is a show. Okay guys, we'll check that. So here let me show you. So here we have a MERN project source code, right? Click on that, and you can see all three links over here. So you can get the backend link, you can get the admin application, and you can also get the Flipkart clone. So that's all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.